Hello there, my name is Alex. This is the Beliefs Bazaar channel, and this video is going to be kind of a quick one. I just wanted to kind of talk about something that I hope other progressive media outlets will cover, as if I am a progressive media outlet. My goodness. Okay, well, I hope to be eventually a progressive voice on the internet. But I wanted to talk in this video about something that is currently happening, and actually I can pull the thing on it right now. But recently I saw that there is legislation to terminate the Section 230 of the Communications Act. The Communications Decency Act is a thing. Okay, so Section 230 is a thing that was added to this Communications Decency Act, or part of the 1996 Communications Decency Act, and is commonly referred to as the 23 words that made the internet. Here we go. It says specifically, no provider or user of an interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by another information content provider. Okay, what that means is that no platform, be it YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, can be held legally liable for the content that their users create on that platform. So, you know, obviously a lot of these platforms have guidelines, and they'll remove certain content if it breaks those guidelines. Usually that has to do with threatening people or illegal whatever, putting a video that shows an illegal thing on it that can be taken down, whatever. So that's one thing, but that protects the platform, right? So YouTube, if I post a video of me doing some fucking crazy ass shit like crimes or whatever, without this protection, YouTube could be legally liable for my content. If I promote a thing that's illegal or tell you to do a thing that's illegal, YouTube could be held liable without this protection. Okay, so why is it under attack? It's under attack because this is a way, without this provision, without this protection, for example, the administration of the United States, maybe not this one necessarily, although it's happening under this administration, the attack on this thing, it could be that any administration might say, we don't like the content that you are putting out on YouTube. To YouTube, saying this to YouTube. We don't like the content that one of your users is putting out on YouTube. And because we have protection of speech and what have you, it's up to the platform to decide what's acceptable on their platform, right? Because whether or not we have free speech, legally protected free speech, we're still under it's a private company, right? They can make the rules. It's their platform. This isn't a public forum. We're not meeting in front of the courthouse, oh geez, I was trying to find the recent legislation on okay, sorry. I just changed my search query real quick. Congressional Democrats and Republicans are planning to reintroduce a bill to sunset Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act in 2 years. This move threatens to constrain online communication. Okay, so this is a bipartisan thing, technically. Whether or not these Democrats are actually Democratic is going to be for another video. As much as the right wing likes to say rhino every time a Republican doesn't capitulate fully to MAGA, there is definitely Democrats in name only as well, and maybe we should focus on that sometimes. But that's another conversation. The thing that's specifically happening now, and I would invite you to Google, current attempt to overturn Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. That'll give you more information than I'm going to provide right now. But the point I'd like to make, though, is that we need to be talking about this. We need to be contacting our senators and elected officials and begging them to stand up for this, because this is what can happen. Okay, and you can fill in the blanks. This is happening during the Trump administration, so it's probably their motivation to do this. And it'll, if it expires when it's set to, if they don't continue it, it'll expire in, I think, 2027. So what would happen without this? Okay, whatever administration is in power could threaten litigation for whatever reason. If you say slander or whatever, even if you're wrong, right? Even if it's not slander, even if it's not misrepresenting people in a way that is legally liable, even if it's not that, the amount of money and time required to dispute those things, if taken to court, if litigated over, would be such that the motivation for these companies would just be not to post any content that could be considered oppositional or what that might evoke litigation if the administration is not happy with it. So this is for everybody. Okay, this is for anybody who wants to say anything against the administration, and not just you and me. I'm talking about news outlets, media companies, right? And I'm not saying all of them are good or any of them should or shouldn't say a thing or whatever. I'm saying that we need to protect their ability to do so, because we need to have dissenting opinions online and accessible to people for any administration across the board. I don't think that progressives or liberal politicians should be held to any different standard. I think everyone should be subject to criticism if it is deserved. I mean, even if it's not deserved, there should be the opportunity to rebut that, or even make the accusation without consequences, without being deplatformed, without those things. There's a different conversation to be had about what should and shouldn't be deplatformed. And again, that is a different conversation. But the liability of the platform itself should be protected. That way we can all express our opinions and otherwise freely on these platforms that have the reach. This is, if I opened a website right now called The Beliefs Bazaar, I'm not going to get, maybe some people will land on it, but it's not going to be the same kind of exposure that just putting a video on YouTube will be, So if we want to protect our ability to post content online in any capacity, this needs to be protected. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act needs to be protected. And I hope anyone watching this video will do what they can, whether it be writing to a politician. If you have a platform, please talk about it. All of that. We need to protect this for the ability to communicate in the way that I'm communicating with you. Thanks for watching.